Yes, I met my wife and taken to Hampton Manor, which frightened me to death because it was a huge home. And I was introduced to these ladies, but I had never previously identified those with special needs, and this was quite a shock. And quite quickly they absorbed me into their lifestyle, and I found my way into the kitchen where they were peeling the potatoes and preparing this and that, and then went off in groups into the gardens where they did their biodynamic gardening with a gentleman called Guy Tanner, who Dave had brought in from New Zealand. He wanted a biodynamic gardener, and he did this work, and they developed Hampton Manor grounds and gardens so that the place was self-sufficient. And it was quite successful, and all the young ladies, only young ladies, worked together in groups within the grounds. They did not go outside because of the anxiety of being abused and shouted at, etc., which is not even uncommon today. And many of the ex-residents from Sunfield came to Hampton Manor as teenagers, and they brought with them the skills of playing recorders and artistic work, doing plays. So at Hampton there was no facility for a play, so we built a room which became a centre for art, and where the girls were able to do their work and do their drawings and do their artistic work. This all generated a small funding which enabled them to pursue it further. They still linked with Sunfield because they loved their pottery. And so we found a guy who wanted to teach pottery, so we started our own pottery at Hampton Manor. And it was all to do with manipulating, doing pictures, but manipulating hands and speech. And that was all very constructive, very constructive. And so we had a group of ladies which grew from 7 when I joined the family to 27, I think, maybe 32, I have the numbers, slowly but surely, because that brought with it numerous problems. Essentially, the inspectorate, who kept saying, you need to do something for these young ladies. You can't have so many people in a small room. Because I'd got 7 ladies in one bedroom, and the bedroom was huge, as you can imagine, in an old manor. So we had the task of breaking it down to a maximum of 3 people in a room. Eventually, the inspectorate came to me and said, John, this building is no longer fit for purpose. And that spelled the death knell for Hampton Manor. And the great anxiety to all the parents, what are we going to do? So we then set about with the directors of how we could find somewhere for them to live, because we had applied to the local council if we could build a special purpose building in the grounds. Oh no, you can't do that because this is a conservation area. So we had to find somewhere else. That took some 5 years, and through that time we had great help from Solihull Council in telling us which direction we go. We have one of our board directors here, Peter Davison, who used to make my life a misery, but in reality, we now, in hindsight, know how valuable his words were, because he could see what was going to happen, and we had to be prepared.